People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet, and my blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And I have come here today to talk to you about driving. This is for the veteran drivers, the experienced drivers, the brand new drivers, the drivers that think they do it perfectly, the drivers that know they need some improvement. Okay, yesterday, Friday, when I was about to go to my last couple of stops, I turned down LaFille from Harrison. I turned on Fleetwood to Rivoli to get back to Harrison to do the other side of that street. Well, when I got to Fleetwood on LaFille, I could see further down that the road was blocked and there was a lot of police activity. I went to turn on my radio to call it in, and, well, turn up my radio, it's always on. And they were talking about the situation at Westbrook and LaFille. So I knew I didn't have to call it in. But as a school bus driver, we have codes. The situation means there's been a serious accident where there is major injuries or loss of life. At that point, I turned my radio all the way down because I did not want the kids on my bus to hear about any news, shall we say, the wrong way. So took those kids and my new pickups on to Westwood School. When I left Westwood School, I turned my radio back up because we're required by law to have the radio on, called in my 10-6 for that school, and that I'm starting the next school. Then I turned down work over to Eugenia, well, work council to Eugenia, excuse me. Oh, allergies are still kicking my butt. Anyway, from there I turned on to LaFille going the other direction. There's still cars and police activity and ambulance and stuff going on down the other side of the street. So I told that parent, if you got to go anywhere, go this way. Don't go down LaFille because there's an accident or something down there. She goes, oh, that's good to know because I used to go that way and turn on Westbrook. I said, you can't get to Westbrook. Oh, okay. And then I said hi to those kids, went on with my route, picked up all the babies that had to go to St. Ignatius and delivered them to school. When I got off my morning route, now I could find out what's going on. We lost a child. This child was at her bus stop, apparently in her place of safety, seen a friend of hers across the street, ran over to talk to her, and then to make sure she got on her bus, ran back across the street. I don't know if she looked left or right. I know she was not in her place of safety because otherwise this would not have happened. She was hit by a minivan and a Metro bus. And that's all she wrote. And if, because it's a 25-mile-an-hour street, if people paid attention to the fact that it's a 25-mile-an-hour street and they were always vigilant looking for people in the road, because children, let's face it, they are impetuous, they will dash across. As drivers, you need to be aware that someone may dash across the road. You know, that wouldn't happen. And if it had happened, she got hit by a van, she would not have subsequently been hit by a transit bus because he would have been paying attention too. So I'm going to talk to you about stopping, going, some pertinent details. Excuse me. Did you know the average red light is red for 45 seconds to 3 minutes depending on where you are? If you are on the busy street, you got 3 minutes of go, whereas the person waiting at the intersection to enter that same busy street might have to wait there for 3 minutes. But the average light is 45 seconds. There's no need to run the light. The speed limits are there for a reason. Please obey them. New drivers. Yellow means yield and prepare to stop. This is a good time to start braking and to slow down. Red means stop. Cease of movement. And when you stop, don't stop like, no. Especially in the state of Ohio, there's no such thing as a California roll. They will call that a pause and still give you a ticket. When you stop, count to 8. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000. That's a full stop. Be safer. 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000 before you start going. Then when you go, do not jackrabbit. Ease to speed. So start slow, build up. Don't, because that's when accidents usually happen. If you are approaching a green light, don't assume it's going to be green by the time you get to that light. Still, green lights are notorious for turning red. So already be tapping your brakes for the person behind you to know that you are prepared to stop if that light turns green, the light turns red, and then when it turns red, you're already in position to slow down and ease to a stop. No, because that gives the car behind you not enough warning that you're stopping. So while you're going, they're going like that right into you. Not a good look for anybody. That brings us to school buses. Those yellow lights that flash. Yellow, 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 yellow. Those are called warning lights. That warns you that the bus is about to stop. Usually we activate those at 300 feet before the stop. People like to say, I don't know what 300 feet is. Look at the telephone poles. There's a telephone pole every 100 feet along the road. So 3 telephone poles ahead of the stop, you will see flashing yellow lights. If you're going to zip past the school bus, that's when you do it. Don't wait until those lights turn red. The lights turn red, which means stop, which is why there's an horn that comes out that flashes red lights also with the word stop, S-T-O-P, written right on it. Those lights come on when the door is open. That means a child is boarding the bus. That means a child might be crossing the street to get on the bus. Those stop arms are there to protect the children. This same day that we lost a child, not from a yellow bus, but from a transit bus and a minivan, I opened my stop arm. I told the kids on my left, I hold my hand up like this, stop, wait for my signal, while the kids on the right were boarding. So, of course, don't you know, somebody zipped past my stop arm. I screamed out their license number, and they got 15 feet in front of me and stopped at the red light. So at this point, I picked up my microphone and started calling in their license number. They look behind those. I'm reporting them. They want to call me every name but a Christian. You went past my stop arm. So at this point, double checking, make sure everything was safe, I told those 2 kids that had to cross the street to come on. They have already been trained that if my hand is up, you do not move. When my hand drops, safe to cross, and if you hear a horn, check traffic. Because if I see something coming, I'm blowing the horn. That means they are to look both ways and make sure it's safe. They can't just stop, freeze in the road, because if there's something coming that's right there, now they're deer in the headlight. They have to double check, and basically, I make sure there's nothing coming before I allow them to cross. But my point is this. If you see a school bus stop arm, you're only going to be stopped for about 45 seconds or however long it takes that child to cross the street. And as soon as the kids are on the bus, we close the door, even though we're not moving. That's why we have the lights on inside the bus, because we make sure those children are sitting down before we proceed. So for the safety of a child, never be in such a rush that you put their life and your own life in jeopardy. And I know some people will hear that statement and go, my life ain't in jeopardy. Yes, it is, because if you hit that child, your life is going to change. You might not have lost your life, but you will lose your freedom. You will pay restitution. You will go to jail. You will have to pay some kind of consequence. And you will have to deal with your conscience for the rest of your life. Even if you only injured the child, your life will change. don't take the chance. Don't injure a child. Don't kill a child. Same goes for adults. Every now and then I'm driving the bus and you'll see an adult who definitely knows better walking on across the street, no stoplight in sight, and if there's a stoplight, it's green so the cars can go. They got a don't walk and they're sauntering across the street. They don't even bother to run to say, hey, there's traffic moving, I don't have the right of way, let me get my butt across the street. They walk like, hey, I'm the pedestrian, they're supposed to stop for me. That puts things in danger. When you're driving, young people, older drivers already know this, parents of children already know this, but when you're driving, if you see a toy in the street, like a ball or a doll or whatever, assume following that toy in the street will be a child. Okay? Just, well, there goes the camera acting goofy. Assume if there's a ball bouncing, there's a baby running. So stop. I put my emergency stop arm out for that situation. But even in my car, if I see a ball, I blow my horn twice, beep, beep, while I'm slowing down and looking. Because that way, if there is a baby, they are alerted. Don't chase that ball in the street. Here comes a car. And if there isn't, a baby chasing it, I'm still expecting, the worst case scenario because kids are impetuous. That's like the stop arm. I have seen this so many times that it's not funny. Kids crossing the street, they're following the driver's instructions, they drop a pencil or a pen. This is 10 cents. This is not worth your life, people. If you drop an ink pen or a pencil, know you can buy another one if you're alive to do so. They drop a pen, they freeze, they turn around, they bend down to pick up this pencil or pen or book. And here you come zipping past the stop arm right into the baby. No. I tell my kids, if you drop something, you better continue on to the other side of the street. That pencil is not worth your life. The book, you can wait till the crosswalk turns green and the traffic light says stop and go get your book. That might have been run over 2 or 3 times by the time you get to it, but at least the book's in one piece, and so are you. So when you see a school bus stop arm, imagine, if you will, there's a child going across the street that might drop something, bend down to pick it up. Do not go past that stop arm. That's the most important thing. If I say anything else that I can say to you, don't go past the school bus stop arm, because that's a child's life right there in your control. Your control by stopping, that child is safe. My control by putting the stop arm out and double checking to make sure there's no traffic so I know the child is safe. Do you know, in this day and age, I've been a scuba driver for 12 years, never heard of it before. We now have to signal the kids on the right, on the curb, when it's safe to get on the bus, as well as the kids on the left that have to cross the street. That should not be the case. That means people, because everything that becomes a law for school buses is a law because something happened that made it a law. People are driving on the sidewalks to go around the school bus on the right-hand side where kids are standing in their place of safety in the driveway by a tree on the sidewalk to go around the school bus because they don't want to stop for the stop arm. So we have to signal them when it's safe to cross from the curb as well as when it's safe to cross the street. Do me a favor, don't do it. Let's have no more loss of life. Let's make better choices while we're out there on the roads. And if a light goes out while you're driving, treat that stop as a 4-way stop. Stop on all 4 sides. That's all. Y'all stay blessed. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. This is MP+7. Bye now.